Yeah, I'm just trying to get my computer to run today. Apparently, it's not running today, so.
That's unfortunate. Everyone good otherwise?
So far.
Alright, well, guess we might as well just dive on in. Haldred said he may not make it, or if he does, he'll at least be late. So we can just start right now. Let's see. What happened last time? It was so uneventful, I don't recall. So, if I remember correctly, you all four of you, in fact, everyone here, stormed a barge that was making its way down the river west from Hope towards the sea. And
Storm just sounds so mean. I prefer ambushed.
there was an ambush, yes, and there was some unauthorized boarding, some minor river piracy, and someone, not going to say who, but someone
Oh god, here it comes
really
already.
killed real, like real killed, super really real dead. Real is dead. Real. Okay, enough of the pun. But you all have the bow. It has been returned to you. You are able to take a rest as however you like, and you also have a traumatized Zilra. And yeah, that's pretty much where things are set overall. It's been eventful. It's been some difficult times. You have a corpse if you want to bring it. Overall.
I think that was planned. We were gonna try and get him resurrected by Bahamut.
Oh, we're headed
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had assumed that we would go back to the camp we made before they had the ambush.
That's where we were headed last time, yeah.
Yep, you certainly can.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
finish off that long rest.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a distance, but you can get back. And of course, you did pay the barge and their crew to, I guess, be quiet or to not worry about the terrible things that had occurred.
As an apology.
Yeah, for their troubles, and for
For
what
the
is almost
inconvenience we caused
certainly,
them.
and also for what is almost certainly going to be a really terrible stain in the guest room carpet.
Much money.
Ah, I didn't know there was a carpet. I wouldn't have killed him if I knew there was a carpet.
No. But overall, it's a little bit tricky. You had wrapped him. You had wrapped the remains of Real in a blanket. Very respectfully. God, the yawning. Sorry. Very respectfully, and you're able to take it back to camp and have yourself a long rest. All of you can have long rest.
I'm getting like an enormous amount of feedback from you. Are you messing with dice?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
Trying to find a dice that can't find it.
I'm hearing every single dice click.
Yeah, same here. I thought it was him typing, to be honest.
Yeah. All right. Once we get back to camp, I think Lee will put down Real's body and just kind of sit down, let out a deep sigh, look around. Is Ormus there?
If he wants to be there.
I would, but I probably would use my invisibility trait.
Okay.
But I am there. Like, I sat down, and then just poof, basically.
All right. I guess Lee is gonna say, Ormus.
Yeah.
We clearly need to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've put trust in
Even as
you.
much.
We've put trust in you. Um, but there are things that you haven't been telling us. Every time we ask, you say you've always been honest.
And I
But
have.
no more lying by omission. Tonight, you need to tell us everything. If it pertains to us, if it pertains to anything, you need to tell us. Because at this point, we need to know. I'm not going to be in the dark anymore. I'm not going to let you endanger our party anymore. You need to tell
Well,
us
I mean-
everything.
Ask away, as far as I know.
No,
None of
you're
it really.
not going to play this game where you make us ask and guess. You're going to tell us what we need to know. You're going to tell us where you got these dark powers. You're going to tell us anything that might be prudent. If it's where you're from, who your parents are, what you did in your past, you need to tell us everything.
I have a place to start with that.
You what?
I have a place to start with that.
Okay.
I can't understand you, hon.
What was that?
I couldn't tell what you were saying.
Oh dear lord, I don't. That
A
might
lot
my
of feedback. What did you say, Molly?
And now, Fionn.
Beyond.
Fionn, there's a lot of noise coming through on your side. Thank you.
What did you
Thank
say,
you.
Molly?
I said I have a place to start.
If you want us to ask you questions to get you started, we'll ask, but you need to let us know what's going on.
Well, I
Where
get
did you get? Go ahead.
I get my abilities the same way that Theon gets it. I've made a pact with. I think I told you guys was Mephistopheles because I asked for you to try and come and help me on a trial down in hell, which you
Gary.
declined. What was
I
that?
don't think you would have known about that.
I think that I did ask you guys to or it was out of character. Might have been out of character, and I decided not to ask you. I can't remember.
But yeah, at this point, this is Ormus's turn to come clean about everything. If he wants.
Yeah.
He's own a truth or anything, and Lee's not going to know if you lie to him, but this is your chance to be honest with Lee, or the party.
Yeah, and I've always. I just omission. That's pretty much all it's been. It's like I see it as if guys don't ask, you guys don't care, or
So we need to know.
anything like that.
Yeah, no, we care. You're lying by omission. You're not telling us things that we need to know that are dangerous, that we have to know about. And so no more lies by omission. You're going to tell us everything.
It doesn't put you guys in danger. It's all on myself. My powers come from. They came from Mephistopheles. Then he broke my pact when. I forgot the little demon thing's name now. When he came to get my soul, then that was kind of where that came out in the clear.
Lee just nods, like, okay, that makes sense.
Yep. Then when I went on my trial, if I did or didn't in character ask you to help me on the trial, I can't remember, but took a trial down in hell, basically cleared my name, made Mephistopheles look like an idiot. It was great. You should have been there. Then Asmodeus himself pulled me alongside, and we made a pact together.
What did you have to clear your name of? In hell.
Breaking my word, breaking my contract.
All right. Well, so
So tell us about your past. Where are you from?
My past? I'm from Bacata.
Okay. How did you become a guard?
I went through. I'm not really 100% sure. Is there a school for it, or is it just kind of like sign up and go?
Yonder will know.
I can't remember.
In this particular instance, you didn't go through like paladin sort of school. You went closer to be more along the traditional knighthood sort of guarding kind of school, more basic in that sense. A lot of it was just, hey, you look like you need food. Come here,
training.
stab things for us. Like it was, he just signed up for the military basically.
Yeah, go through training and all that stuff. Yeah, so I was telling him, I signed up for my reasons.
Why did you make a pact with darkness? What drove you to do that?
Nothing particularly drove me to do it. When I was a kid, I wasn't well liked. I was picked on. I was bullied. Didn't have any friends. And the only friend that I had was Mephistopheles. I grew up with Mephistopheles being... What's up?
Out of character, that's super tragic.
Why were you bullied?
Warlock with a tragic backstory? Ah.
Because
Continue.
because I was an orphan. I don't know my real parents. I was adopted and I was picked on for it.
Just real quick, am I getting any more feedback now? Sorry.
Nope.
Okay, just wanted to double check. All right, sorry, continue.
Okay.
I think at this information, Lee is just going to be like, is that everything? Is that everything that we need to know? Is there anything else that you're hiding that you feel that we need to know?
I mean, I was never hiding anything. Alright, look, I'm ashamed, alright?
Well,
The things that I did in the past and the things that I've done to get where I am, I'm not exactly happy about. Sure, I had these strong, awesome powers from somebody in the overworld, but you think I'm proud of that?
Yes.
You really think that I would just like to go around flaunting, hey, look at how strong I am. I got these from the underworld. No,
Let me
that's a lot of what?
go ahead.
You have done that. Remember when we were at the bar?
I was a little drunk, alright.
Ormus,
Wait, which bar?
really?
the one in Hope.
Okay.
He was that drunk apparently.
The Iron Gentleman.
Yeah, I don't
Yes, it
recall
was.
what I
Yeah,
did.
correct.
You just mean when I was telling everybody that hell wasn't so bad? That?
Yeah, you're been there. It's great. I heard a little bit of it. I was kind of preoccupied with, trying to be normal and spend time with normal people.
Because for the first time in a long time, someone seemed interested. So I was telling about it.
All right, Ormus, you're ashamed because what you're doing is wrong and you know that it's wrong. You don't have to be that person.
not-
Listen, you don't have to be that person anymore.
I'm not ashamed because it's wrong. I'm ashamed because of what I've done.
What have
The people I've hurt.
Who have you hurt? This is your opportunity to tell us.
Zelra, Molly, you, Rio, killed him, killed 2 guards off Hope, tried to kill the king.
That's why we're having this conversation. You don't have to be that way. You can be better. I believe that you can be better. But you have to turn away from this darkness. You have to enter the light completely. You can't just say, I'm going to try to step into the light a little bit. This is a full commitment. You can't do this halfway. You have to fully commit.
I can't just step out of the dark. If I do, it goes against everything that I try to pride myself on.
That just makes you sound like you're evil. That makes you sound like all you care about is power. You pride yourself on darkness?
No, I don't pride myself on darkness. I pride myself on my word. I gave Mephistopheles my word that if I help him kill Asmodeus, get him in a higher seat of power, that he would give me powers. He went on back on his back. I did not. Prided myself on that. Went on trial and I won. Asmodeus, he made a pact with me. Tell me, as long as I just spread the word, hell's not so bad. He'll give me powers. I've been doing that. I've been keeping my word. I kept my word for you guys. I've never lied to you guys.
Ormus, all you did was step away from one monster and step into the arms of another.
When you walk this path, talking and dealing with these guys, they don't uphold honor. They don't uphold your word. It's not a quest for honor with them. It's a quest to backstab and grab power.
And if he backstabs me, then my soul is once again mine, and I'll be able to do whatever I want.
Chris, are you loyal to us or are you loyal to Asmodeus?
Both.
It can't be both. No,
Yes, they can.
It is not both.
I'm loyal
not
to
going to
Asmodeus
allow-
so I can be stronger and be loyal to you guys.
You
guys always come first. Once I'm dead,
I'm offering you an opportunity to be strong and in the light. All you have to do is step away from this darkness. It's all you have to do. I'm offering you a hand.
have you ever dealt with the devil before in
course
terms of
not.
deals? Then you don't understand. If I go back on my word, that makes me a hypocrite. That goes against what I stand for. Not to mention,
Stand for good.
he'll just go ahead and take my soul. I will no longer be here. You guys can say bye-bye to me.
If you step away from him, we will try to protect you. We will.
You can try and you'll fail.
Listen, we can make you a paladin and you'll have the protection of the gods. If you don't want to do that, then you should leave. Because you're a danger to us. You're a danger to the world because you're using dark powers. And if you care more about power, then
I
you do
used that
about us,
power
you
tonight
can leave.
to stop Zora and Molly from dying. If
But
I
at what
was trying to
cost?
protect you guys,
Ormus, leave. I'm not going to put up with this anymore. You were endangering us.
if I'm a monster for trying to do the right thing in a hard time, then so be it.
You're doing
You
it the
weren't
wrong
there.
way, and we're offering
You
you
weren't.
to do it right, but you won't take it, so you need to leave. You'll find yourself somewhere out there, I'm sure, but you're not going to do it with us. I'm not going to let you endanger our group. I'm not going to let you endanger our mission.
The whole mission is why I did what I did. We had to get the bow back. If I didn't stop him, he was going to kill Molly. If I didn't stop him, Zelra wouldn't be standing here. If I didn't stop him, I wouldn't be standing here. Then what? You'd go out and kill him. You'd have to stop him. Then you'd have 4 dead bodies instead of 1.
Ormus, you are not the most powerful person here just because
No, I'm not. I understand this, Molly.
of
And I
him
don't mean it.
himself.
I know
It's
you could
not.
have. But you and Zelra were not looking good when I woke up. If he had kept and continued on the rampage, Zelra definitely wouldn't be standing here because she was his next target.
Me.
What was that?
You woke
Oh.
up because of me.
Yes, and I understand this, and I thank you, Molly, and I will thank you 1,000 times.
I'm not going to ask. You need to leave. If you're not going to take this chance to step into the light, then I see that you're stuck in darkness. I see that you can't be saved. I've offered you this opportunity, but if you won't take it, if you can't take it because you're too selfish or you're too prideful or you're too ignorant, then you need to leave. Because I will not let you endanger our party. And I will do whatever it takes to protect us. Whatever it takes.
It might occur to some of the characters now, of course, that Fion's power comes from a very dark source. And in terms of doing things that we all regret, Molly Mort she blew up a bookstore. She's done a lot of dangerous and destructive things as well. Fion certainly has blood on his hands.
Yeah,
And Lee, you just abandoned the party for a long time. You came back, yes, but no one's without blame here.
None of us are without blame, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. But if leaving is what makes you guys feel safe, then I'll do it. But I will do anything and everything. The power that I have been granted, anything and everything, the power that I will receive in the future, to do my best to make sure none of you are hurt. Even if it means sacrificing myself, I don't care.
Ormus,
But Lee,
please.
sometimes you have to get your hands dirty.
Oh, Ormus, listen, please. Lee will outstretch his hand to Ormus. Be like, please, step out of the darkness. I know you can. I believe that you can. I see that you want to change. I see how much this has hurt you. Just please listen to me. I don't want to break up this group, but if I have to protect the group from you, I will. Just please listen to me. You can't step. It's not how this works. You can't step half out of the darkness, half into the light. You need to fully commit. If you
Isn't
don't,
that how balance is created?
From Asmodeus now, you'll be stuck. You'll be in the darkness forever. You will be corrupted.
And if I may,
Then-
Theon would like to kind of step towards, step more towards the two of them and say, Ormus, he's right, and I know that I have blood on my hands as well, and that's why I'm saying here and now, I know my powers come from not necessarily the best place, and I've been thinking about this for a while because of being around Lee and seeing that what he's doing is right, and I know it deep in my heart. And I think that this might be easier for you if we step into the light together, which I am willing to do and want to do. I need to clear my conscience, and I feel like you should have that want as well. And if you don't, I don't really know what else to say to you.
I'll take Fion's hand and keep my hand out offered to Ormus. Please take this chance. All we want is for you to be redeemed.
Some good people are beyond redemption.
No, that's not true.
Redemption is never a thing without excuse me. Redemption is never a thing that is not within reach, Ormus.
Ormus, how do you know if you won't try? I'm offering you this chance. Please, just try. Because otherwise, you have to leave. I can't allow this. I'm going to keep my hand outstretched. You all right, man?
Yeah, just
Thinking?
thinking, yeah.
That's why I gave you a heads up. I didn't want to shock you with this.
Oh, no, it's...
Fiona will also say, you have to trust in those that are willing to help, because this is impossible otherwise. We can't do this if some of us are corrupted, which is why I'm stepping forward. And
We have to be together. I agree with Dion. We need to be together in this.
I'm together with you guys, and if you think that I'm not, you're mistaking it as well. I always have been. I've been here for the group. First, I was here for Bukata, and then seeing what you guys were for, I stuck. I stayed. You guys became my family.
Show us that we're your family then. Step into the light with us and step away from the darkness, and we will help you. You look like you need some time to think. Please,
I think I do.
I know you'll do the right thing, or at least I hope you will. But let's just take some time to
It's
sit
what
down.
I've been trying to do my whole life.
And here's your chance. If you need a sign, here's your sign. Let's just stop, take some time to eat, and I'll let you think about it. The offer is open. Fiona is willing to undergo this transformation with you. There is light in the world, and you have not lost your capacity to be part of the light.
There is light, but there's also darkness. And that's what balances the world. I'm not saying that darkness is bad. And I think that you have a misunderstanding of what darkness is. It's not always bad.
Ormus, Asmodeus is evil.
And he still brings balance to the world.
But we represent good.
And I still represent good. I don't represent anything evil.
Then ally yourself with good.
What was that?
Then ally yourself with good.
I
Take this
have.
chance.
Ormus, I'm gonna put it this way. As long as you get your power from Asmodeus, you are not you. You're not using yourself for what you want to use yourself for. You're just a tool used by him.
Work with you if you're working with dark powers. Because I don't know when they're going to pull your strings for you to betray us. I don't know if we can trust you. I know we can't trust you if you're allied with darkness. I'm giving you this chance for redemption. Fiona's taking the chance. Fiona's taking the step forward. Do it with us. Trust in us.
And we're not saying that you have to do this, but if you want to continue to run with us, you do have to do this.
Well, let's just hope the time never ever comes that I say that I told you so. And I'm just gonna take Lee's hand.
I'll pull him forward into a hug. And I think Lee will probably cry a little bit, like a single tear rolls down his cheek. And you won't regret this. We will find the light together. This is your chance for redemption.
I'm not gonna hold back the opportunity to say I told you so. I'm just telling you it's not.
All right. Do you say that in character or out of character?
In character.
Lee says, I'll try not to tell you I told you so too, and pat him on the back.
I'll just say this. Wise benefit from a second opinion, and here we have how many?
Zilra, where she is sitting beside the fire that's just starting to warm, says, "This is really beautiful."
Yeah, I'll be honest, out of character, I'm sitting over here kind of on the edge of tears. that
Yeah,
was,
same,
that was
dude.
pretty deep.
I cried a little bit, I'll admit.
I'm just gonna look at Zora and be like, Zora, I really do hope that you understand. And I am sorry. But he did need to be. And I hate to be the one that had to do it. But he wasn't going to stop.
Ormus, this isn't the time.
I know.
It's all right, Ormus.
And I'm saying sorry.
This isn't the time, but I'm glad that you're repentant. And I'll hug him and pat him on the back again.
Zora nods and she says, "I understand. Things will get better with time." Well, I guess I'll get started on making dinner.
Hello?
Let's eat.
No one wants to stop the necromancer from cooking?
Yeah, Fionn, you can see Fionn visibly irks from that and starts to step towards her like, I got it.
Good move, yes. Zora says, yes, okay. I will sit. You were saying, Molly Mort?
I was saying that my internet's been flickering, so I missed a whole bunch of stuff that just happened.
Yeah, there was a hug. I assume Molly Mort joined in on the group hug as Fionn and Lee embraced and Ormus embraced.
Well, I didn't say I embraced. I was just awkwardly like.
Well, okay.
Touching.
as Ormus
Touching
was
hands.
embraced by Lee and Fionn.
He gives you a full-on fucking hug. Like, even if you don't reciprocate, he's just hugging the shit out of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what paladins do.
Fionn isn't very affectionate, so it was kind of awkward. He was kind of awkward with it as well. So
Like
Mm-hmm.
half hug.
He's holding both of your hands, so Lee pulls you in
Oh yeah.
to a very cold, armored hug.
I missed why we were hugging.
Oramus took Lee's hand and said, something along the lines to summarize, like, fine, but I'm not gonna hesitate to say I told you so. And Lee was like, me either.
All right. Well, I'm definitely gonna have to listen to the recording of that. My internet's been flickering.
All right.
A lot of
Hopefully it
people
gets a little
here
bit better.
power.
A lot of feels. A lot of feels.
Molly will reluctantly join the hug.
Fair.
Can we just take a second? I just want to make sure we have a chill out second here because that got really intense. I'm not mad at anybody. I just felt that that was appropriate for the character, and I've been psyching myself up for it all week because I was like, this is the time to have an ultimatum. This is the time, like, narratively to have this. And I didn't know if Ormus was gonna leave or if he was gonna like actually take the chance.
Well, in this case, then, I will, sensing a motive or sensing an opportunity to strike. The DM approaches darkly. As you all settle in a little bit and you calm down, you let the nerves relax. It grows quiet. The sound of the river going by, the fire crackling as Fionn prepares a late night snack, something to eat to calm the nerves after the battle. I suspect that at some point it kind of wafts through Fionn's mind as he thinks about the changes that would be made to what he would need to do to veer from his path. That at the end of the day, the source of his power comes from an individual that is himself someone that was a bit different. Fionn, of course, went with him, or at least this patron was most known for being one of, if not the person that actually killed Tiamat. But Tiamat's not dead. It's entirely possible that Fionn's patron is the man that killed Bahamut. And that might be a problem. Also, too, possibly crossing Lee's mind is the gods can sometimes be very picky who they choose. And it might be that with all the trying and with all the good that Ormus and even Fionn have done, it might be that they're rejected. And is it worth making them leave their path if it means them being a liability, being weak, losing all of their strength? It might be a problem. And Ormus,
Absolutely.
hang on. And Ormus is perhaps thinking about
Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
that
God?
Asmodeus is a person that is probably not one that anyone in the universe wants on their enemy list. Not really. And for all the bad things that are said about him, he's not asked you to do a single bad thing. In fact,
No, yes.
he kind of discouraged against it. He seems to be for his own interest, sure, but the darkness doesn't seem to be coming from him. It seems to be coming from Oramus. I don't know what Mollingworth's thinking of, but perhaps those thoughts might drift across the minds of Oramus, Lee, and Fionn as they take a moment to chill out.
like, honestly, the thought of Gilgim might have been the one to strike down Bahamut has been occurring in his head because Gilgim has voiced his pleasure at Fionn working with Bahamut before, and that's kind of what's been leading up to this for Fionn. Is like this felt very natural for Fionn because he's been kind of questioning a lot about Gilgim ever since we kind of started going on this journey.
Good.
Speaking for Lee, and you're welcome to think that this is naive because it probably is. But Lee is completely certain, whether he's wrong or not, that the gods, you know, are forgiving. That redemption exists as long as you're pure of heart and you're willing to, make a soul deep oath of, redemption. I think
Mm,
that's what Lee believes in. He
a
believes
true paladin,
in a true
indeed.
paladin, yeah.
That makes much more sense to be on Lee's thought process in that regard.
Whether that's wrong or right, that's
Hmm.
up for debate. But that is Lee's thought process, and that's what he believes.
I mean, Molly's thinking similarly. She's kind of reminiscing to back when she was back home and she was the only one who had magic, and everybody else still did amazing things. And she's thinking to herself about how even if you can't do a lot yourself, if you have good intentions, then there are going to be other people with good intentions who will step up and help you.
And Molly Mort probably also thinks about the necklace that she was given, and maybe thinks that as bad as Ormus may be, he's not all bad.
She's thinking that as well as she's thinking about Real and approaching Zilbra about Real, but now doesn't seem like the right time.
I would
Yeah.
hope that you, of all people, Molly, would kind of understand and see that Real was not going to stop, and kind of like agree, but at the same time, just like understand that what I did was wrong. Same time, it was right
No,
in my mind.
this is not at all what Molly thinks.
Yeah, out of character.
I'm
I
not saying that.
myself
I'm just
know
hoping.
that what you did needed to be done. He needed to be put down. There may have been a chance of talking out of it, but like he was attacking you, like you had every right to attack him back. But from Lee's perspective, he used something very dark. Like I'm playing a very straight paladin. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
very hard for a straight paladin to work with somebody who's working with dark arts because, frankly, paladins are a little intolerant.
All right.
God, you guys are gonna hate me so much later on.
I'm sure. Don't
Hey,
worry.
Fiona, what's on the menu?
I imagine just some river fish or something, like something that would be easy to wrangle up.
Certainly, certainly.
Out of
Alright.
character, we do have a body wrapped in linen over here.
Well, I mean, they're giving up evil. I think cannibalism, well, I guess it technically wouldn't be cannibalism, but eating of a
Humanoid.
a good mental stat.
I don't think Zilra would be down for that.
Well, you don't know. Maybe.
Fair enough.
I mean, to be fair, she's probably got other uses she could use it for.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, after this is done, a long rest for everyone.
Yes.
Does anyone keep watch?
Yeah, I'll set up alarm and keep watch for the first couple hours until Oramus is done trancing.
All right. And then after that, Ormus, you keep watch?
I was gonna say over dinner, I wanted to show everybody my book, my sketchbook.
Oh yeah, this will be the first time in character we see the symbol.
Yeah, I was gonna tell them about like what I did, like over dinner, like everybody.
Sounds like a good time.
Do you mention Philbin?
I mentioned Philbin, but I probably lee it up a little bit, so like innocent it up a little bit. Maybe I don't know his intentions and stuff like that. I will mention that he's the mayor now.
All right. Well, the reason I question that is Molly does want to scry tonight, so she says, "Well, I guess I'm not going to scry on him, and you're here, so we're not going to scry on you. So I guess we'll scry on Allergen tonight."
Sorry, I imagined that we see Aladrin being very uncomfortable with what's her name's advances. I can't remember her name.
Yep. So, do you decide to scry on Aladrin?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you form through, and you see Aladrin on a sort of a it's like a mattress made of just a bunch of layers of kind of cloth and various things. It looks like a very basic mattress that's on a ground that is rather sandy and stone. Does look like rough stone. Looks like it's smooth stone, but with sand in various places on top of it, almost dirty but dry. Anyway, you see him, and you see him on the very edge of the mattress with just a little bit of blanket, and you see his eyes are open, and beside him is a woman who is taking up the very middle of it and just like trying to cling onto him. And you can see he's just been moving over and moving over, and she's been moving over and moving over, and it's just anyway. That's about where it is. You don't recognize the room at all.
I would like to ask who participated on the scrying.
I guess I guess I would whenever we do that.
Yeah.
I did ask everybody's opinion of the emblem, but we can do that after.
Yeah, I feel like it's been long enough since we've seen him that Fion's a little worried about him.
Lee will take one look and then like cover his eyes and like blush, turn away, and then do the kind of peek through the fingers thing.
Mm-hmm.
Molly doesn't know whether to be more embarrassed or amused by this.
While you guys are scrying, I'm gonna take my armor off, grab my sword, and walk in the woods. I know what's
All right.
coming.
I was gonna say while I'm telling the story and showing like the emblem and stuff, I'd probably show it to Ormus and be like, you know, look at the 6 stars. You know, it's all 6 of us.
By then, I'd probably be gone. If
Well,
it's after the scrying.
I did that before the scrying was the idea. You know, eating dinner,
Yeah.
with the emblem, telling the story of what I did, and I probably will mention that I would like to, if we can, go back and get the net together. Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was gone and I miss my friends and I can't do this without my friends.
Yeah, together we can.
Uh,
Yeah, then we scry and then Ormus runs off. Does that sound good?
I didn't run off. I sneak off.
Oh yeah, sneak off. I'm not even gonna bother to make a check because Lee would check.
So, if the scrying is done and Ormus goes, you said, Fion, that you would put up an alarm and wait for Ormus, but Ormus, do you come back? What do you do when you go away?
Kind of just walk and wait, expectedly. And if he doesn't, I'll wait a couple of hours. I'll kind of talk out in the air, say a few things.
What do you say?
Side note, I don't know if this would how this would work, but if he isn't back after an hour of waiting, Fionn would throw the alarm up and then try and track him down and see what's going on from a distance.
yeah,
Okay.
Molly's gonna want to go find him too. She doesn't want to be away from him for too long after tonight.
Yeah, once Lee notices that he's gone, he'd probably be worried and like looking for him.
Good gravy. Okay, so
Goodness
Ormus,
gracious.
I know Ormus. What do you do, man? While you're alone?
Evil watch.
I just, once I got far enough away, I'd kind of just start talking. It's like, no.
To whom do you speak?
I know he's listening. He's always listening. So I'm just gonna walk, and I know I pride myself on being a man of my word. And I plan on it. I don't plan on breaking the pact. Instead, and if you disagree, perhaps we can rewrite it. I know that you asked something simple of me, but perhaps it could be a little bit simpler. I don't know what you have in mind. I've got nothing in mind. But if you think that this is me breaking my word, going back on our pact, then I'll let you have my soul now. I'm left alone. Nobody's here to stop you. I'm all yours.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's probably like a good 30 minutes before Lee notices that Ormus is gone. So you've got
Mm-hmm.
time.
Same.
Now,
I
Ormus,
got my sword and I got my my armor.
Ormus, do
So-
you
Half naked.
say his name? Do you make it like a prayer in that sense, or are you just walking around talking?
I'll say his name. I'll kind of like Asmodeus, like address him
Mm-hmm.
and then say that whole thing.
All right. So you give this form of prayer, in a sense, and you hear a voice behind you, and he says, "I'm very busy. Is there something wrong?"
My friends seem to think that you're evil, and that the path that
Ah,
I'm walking
heard that
is
before.
evil. Yeah, I've tried to convince them that sometimes,
You been doing evil there, Ormus?
according to them, I felt what I was doing was right by stopping somebody from dying, but I ended up killing someone else. It was murder. I never intended to be a murderer. But they have all tried to convince me to step, as they say, out of the darkness. I try to tell them sometimes the world needs a little darkness to bring balance. They wouldn't have it. They gave me an ultimatum. They are family. I took them up on the offer. They told me that they want me to step out of the darkness. They didn't, however. Now, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, say that I had to completely abolish any kind of contract with you.
There was no wording like that, so like it was just kind of
Exactly.
all very vague, up to interpretation. So
Yep.
you can do whatever.
And that's why I said you guys are probably going to hate me later on.
Asmodeus says, "I've spent an eternity taking care of the universe, protecting with my power. There's no shame in protecting. Sometimes you gotta kill. Some people just need kill. And that's okay." You feel a hand on your shoulder. It's very hot and very heavy. Like impossibly hot. Like someone just put hot red iron on your shoulder. But it doesn't burn. But you can just feel it's like a burn, but not a burn. It's like a sunburn in a sense.
Yeah. I'll kind of recoil a little bit just from my past, but
Mm-hmm.
kind of like stop myself.
Yeah. He says, "I picked you because you're special. You're different. And you're important. And your friends are important. And your friends are important to you. And that's very important. Do what you need. Help your friends. We had a deal, a very simple deal.
I
You
tell
kill-
everybody,
You kill demons where you find them, and you tell the truth.
and
Those are
I
the only
told
things
them,
I ask. And if they're evil, if your friends can't understand that, I don't know what to say. But you have this power granted to you as long as you do those two things. If that means doing good things, then do good things. If you want to do evil things, well, I'd rather you didn't, to be honest. So do good. They want you to do good, then do good.
sometimes
You
the world
understand?
needs a little evil to balance out the good. And I don't want to be that evil. Sometimes you have to do evil to
These
benefit the greater
old
good.
antiquated designs and thoughts of good and evil. Let me guess, it was the paladin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was all of them, so to
Oh.
speak. The paladin just was the first one to spoke up. His name's Lee, by the way.
Yeah,
Great
I'm
man.
sure
And-
it is. Just be yourself. And if that isn't enough, then be someone they like.
Big
You're good
comic,
with me
baby.
either way, understand?
I'm happy to hear that.
Well, don't worry. Most of the contract comes in after you're dead. Remember, in the material plane, this is just temporary. It'll be a blink soon enough. These are
And
just
then
memories. You can feel a branch beside you. In fact, you can kind of see it in your periphery as the leaves begin to wilt, as presumably he touches the tree, and it dies at his touch. Anyway, he says that you just gotta do what you gotta do. You understand? I'm always
Trying my
here
best.
for you. I'm always here to listen. Even though, again, I am very busy.
And I apologize for taking you away. I didn't quite think you were listening.
Well, I
I left.
sometimes do, sometimes don't.
I was just worried that you heard everything that I said to them and just thought that I was breaking my deal.
Our deal's
I don't
very
want
simple, and it's between us. And don't worry, when you break it,
I'll know.
you'll know. uh, yeah, and the burning goes away from your hand.
Have a good night, Dad. I mean, Asmodeus.
Oh,
Asmodatus.
Asmo Daddy.
I like that.
Anyway,
what-
what do you do after this short chat, Ormus?
I walk back.
Okay. As you all go look to find Ormus, you find Ormus.
Ormus!
As he's heading direct to camp.
Lee will run up to him and be like, I thought you changed your mind. I thought you left.
I was just going to clear my mind
Okay.
with my sword in my hand, just kind of hiding it.
It's dangerous out here. I mean, like, obviously you're going to bring a weapon. It's dangerous.
Of course.
Assuming it's sheathed, Ormus.
No, actually.
Alright, you all can
I
see
was-
the glowing red beam of his sword.
He was a little perturbed by that. And he just kind of, like, takes Ormus by the arm and starts walking back towards the camp. Kind of, like, leading him like he's a kid.
Molly's a mastiff at the time, by the way. Just chilling, coming along.
Okay.
And, worried.
Alright, so do you all settle down for a long nap?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do want to ask real quick. How does Ormus respond to the emblem? Like, I'm really curious.
I mean, I like it, but it was at the time with everything that was going through his mind. It was just kind of like a facade.
Right.
Like, I'm distracted, but I'm trying to be happy for you.
I think Lee can kind of see through that, even with my low ass wisdom. But he makes sure to make a point to point out that there's 6 stars, for all 6 of us. To show-
Zora says, I'm glad to be included.
Don't worry, Zelra. If I ever end up going anywhere, you can have my star. I'm gonna wink at her.
Lee looks very disturbed by this, and he looks at Ormus. He says, "No, this is you. You can't be replaced, Ormus."
But it's...
Yeah, that was the comedic timing that the universe has is pretty great.
Molly, what are you saying?
I wasn't saying much.
Nap time?
So, long rest?
Yeah, but I would note that Molly does whisper to Ormus that she'd like to talk with him in private at some point.
Yeah.
Just leave
Anytime,
on
I'm
a
all yours.
At some point being tonight, or some point being some point.
Next month, next year.
In the morning, maybe while we're walking back, while nobody else is paying attention to us.
Well, I can wake you up when I'm on watch if you want.
Okay.
All right. Everyone begins to take a long rest. Fionn stands watch. Ormus finishes trancing. Nothing occurs with the alarm. Ormus, would you like to wake up Mollymort?
Yeah. So, okay.
You all are alone. The stream is quiet. The sky is incredibly dark. But you do see something you haven't seen in a long time. There are a couple of stars overhead. I don't know if Ormus would notice that, but Mollymort might when she wakes up, because she's on the ground too. Might look up and see them.
Also, she did train while we were sailing. She trained and learned the stars and everything.
Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I can tell you the very constellation that you see. You see. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I said, please do.
Sure. You see a. Well, they call it the Guana. It's our equivalent of like a Taurus. It's supposed to represent the king of the bulls, and it's like a minotaur. It doesn't look like a minotaur really, but the idea is there's like points and some legs and things for points for horns, and there's an eye. It's a constellation. It's kind of a shape of a minotaur if you really think about it. But yeah, anyway, go on. But it's a good portion of the sky. There's stars now.
Cool. Well, Molly will sit down beside you and look at her hands at first, and then she'll kind of start and say, I understand why you did what you did. I'm happy about it, but I know that breaking your contract isn't the only option. It doesn't have to happen. I know that you can do good anyways. And
Well,
yes,
I was gonna say, well, as long as I do no evil and I kill demons, my contract's not broken. If I do evil, even if I say that I no longer want to be under a contract with him, it's not that simple. All I can do is step into the light and do my best for you guys. I can try to follow other gods. I can try to worship other beings. But unless that I do evil and I see a demon and I don't kill it, my contract with him stands.
okay.
I
know that you're a good person, but I still don't think we had to kill Rio. And I'm worried that we won't be able to bring him back.
I too, Molly. Like I said, I never intended to kill him. I wanted to get his attention. What I did was a complete accident. I didn't know I could do that.
And that concerns me. That you didn't.
Me too.
That you didn't apparently even know that you were controlling people when we were up at the gallows.
I thought that was just my sweet personality, honestly.
No, that was magic. Sorry.
I didn't even cast a spell. Damn. It's, I guess it's hard to be humble when you're this good.
Well, I just worry that you'll end up doing too many things by accident, so I do want to see what we can do to rein that in a bit, at least.
Me too.
So you're really going to, I don't know, start worshipping a god or something?
I can follow their teachings and I can worship them, but as long as I don't break the contract with Asmodeus, I'm still gaining my powers from him. And don't get him wrong, he's a devil, a demon, the Lord of the Elements. Sure, he's not a bad guy. And I wish, you could meet him, because you'd understand.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think anybody's so incapable of good, even real. I think he could be a real softy if he just didn't have to put on a front.
You guys thought that the power was controlling me, but the way that I see it, Royal was beyond even himself at that moment. That is an perfect example of power going to someone's head.
Ormus, could you back me up if I tried to convince Zilra that we should change him into not just revive him, but reincarnate him? I think he could be good.
I absolutely agree, and I will definitely stand up for you. I'll try to do my charm.
All right.
Not a little charm,
Yeah.
just so you know.
No, that I don't feel like would have the same effect.
It's temporary. But yeah, neither do I. She might resent us after.
Just Ormus, I'm gonna ask you this. Please answer honestly. When you snuck off earlier, were you really just going to get some air?
I was ready to give up my soul. I went to go apologize, talk to him, and tell him if he wanted to take me now, now's the chance. I was all alone, my armor off, brought the weapon he gifted me. It would happen eventually.
Well, I'd like to put it off as long as we could.
I would too, but I just wouldn't want it to be when I needed them and when you guys need them the most.
Can you please start doing stuff with us? Like not sneak off and do stuff on your own?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay. She hugs you.
I held back.
I'm gonna go back to sleep now, okay?
I'll be here.
Nods and looks up. We got stars tonight, you know.
What? Oh shit! Look at that.
Yeah, and she points out and actually tells him a bit about the stars.
What few there are. It only looks like there's just this little circle of stars.
I don't know if that's a beacon of hope or a call for concern.
Yonder, question. Is there
Yep.
a god associated with, constellations?
A lot of the constellations, a lot of the stories that are given, they're sometimes associated with people of power. Some constellations are are said to be certain gods, but for the most part, most of them are just stories, memories of people that may or may not even have existed. But some do kind of represent gods in certain cultures.
Does this constellation, to Molly Mort's knowledge, have any associated individual?
This particular individual, well, roll a history check, maybe.
If I may, I don't know if this would help her by giving her advantage or anything, but Fionn has gotten all of those star charts and stuff and done all that research, and I'd be willing to bet he brought it up with the party.
Possibly. Let's see what she rolls.
I rolled a 6.
Okay. This one, if you recall correctly, had something to do with. It was a fella that was in one of the ancient human cities. He was turned into. Well, he became a minotaur as a punishment, in a sense. Like he was turned into half beast, half man as a punishment, but he just embraced it and became a bit of a legend in terms of protecting certain properties.
Oh my.
Oh my.
There are a lot of ancient cities and ancient cultures that are around, and sometimes they're come across. Um, this one came from a place. Well, it would be much further south from Hope, but of course much further north from where Malnimord is from. But supposedly it was he was a kind of a guard at a tower, and supposedly he still guards it even after the tower has fallen.
All right. I think Molly will kind of think of that as a good omen.
Possibly. Anyway,
And she will go on and give Ormus one of those like tight hugs that mean something. Not just a hug, but a squeeze. And
I'll smile and hug back.
then she'll get
Just
up
as tight.
to bed.
Crying you are.
all right. So everyone finally has a long rest.
Please.
Fantastic.
I need the
soon
hit
enough,
points.
Yes. You can spend your hit dice as you please, and soon enough, the sky begins to brighten, and it is now daytime. You all, of course, are in a bit of a wilderness on the south bank of a river. You know that if you can just follow this river back, and you would be able to get to a town at the end of the river, and then you would be able to go south and go to Hope if you want. You, of course, have Jacob and Mark here. They can, with Jacob, you could just teleport. So you have that option as well.
I mean, do we want to go get the net now, or should we go back to Hope and deal with some of this fallout?
I mean, we got a dead guy here. I feel like we should go to Hope and talk to Bahamut first.
So let's go ahead and deal with the fallout.
And the least that we could do is let Bahamut know that the next step is to go get the net while we have time.
Lee will definitely be in favor of going to Hope, teleporting to Hope, I guess.
Wait, we can
All
teleport?
right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You've got Jacob.
Yep.
Well,
Ormus completely forgot I didn't.
well, I was gonna say, depending on how long it will take, we should just ride back and then teleport from there once we. Well, never mind. That's what we got to do. Will take time anyway, so we'll have time for him to recharge. I can't imagine we'll be leaving for the net within the same day.
Yeah, I'd be down to just teleport.
Now you do have the horses. So let's see here. We've got Theon, Mollymort, Ormus, Lee, Zilra, Mark, Jacob. I don't know if there's enough room for the horses. Let me check the teleport again. I mean,
Worst case, I'll
presumably-
look at I'll tell everybody. I'll take the horses back.
Well, I was gonna say maybe Fionn could run them both back to the first waypoint, and then just ride, dropping one off, and then just ride the next one back to Hope.
Okay.
Being,
We could just all go together to the next waypoint. I don't know.
yeah, true.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to accompany the horses too.
Yeah, let's go to the waypoint. We'll drop off the horses, and then we can all teleport. The rest of us.
Hang on here. Hang on. Let's see. So the spell instantly transports you and up to 8 willing creatures. I would say that includes the horses. And Fionn, Lee, Mollymort, Oramus, Zora, Mark, plus 2 horses, is 8 plus Jacob. And presumably, as long as you are carrying an object and it fits within the area, then you can take it. You can also take Real, the remains of Real. So, yeah, you could actually teleport even with the horses.
The goat. Was that included? I didn't.
It did not. It did not include your goat. You're right. So I apologize.
Well, that's fine. I mean, technically, the goat can be resummoned. Yeah, if honestly, if we have to, I'll just dismiss the goat. Be like, I'll bring you back out once we get there.
Nah, man. And that was Dwarvish, of course. For I love you. Okay, so
Affectionate today, isn't she?
Always like that.
so teleporting to Hope then.
Sounds good.
Anywhere in particular in Hope?
I
On the
would.
outs-
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I would suggest like outside the gates, not too far.
So outside the main gates of the palace, because I'll remind you that the wall around the city is nowhere near complete. The city itself has no real gate or protection until you get to the actual Ashara, the sort of palace, the heart of the city. So in terms of the gate, that's really the only gate.
Outside the unfinished walls, then? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good idea.
Okay, let's do that.
It's basically like just outside of town.
Yeah.
Okay. With a little bit of time, Jacob draws his sort of teleporting circle, and everything is all set. And poof, you all find yourself in an entirely different wilderness, somewhere just outside of Hope, you think.
Nice.
All right, where's the first stop? The
Uh,
horses are a bit surprised, but they seem cool with it.
Oh, yeah,
Hop-
that was the time to inform them what was going to happen.
we should.
You probably got them to close their eyes, and when they opened it, they just forgot that they were someplace else.
Let's drop off the horses first, and then maybe go and see Bahamut.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, guessing is not at home. Is she in the castle, or would she be at home? Oh, we don't know. Let's go to her house first.
Well, last we knew she was hanging out in the castle. The queen like had her own quarters.
Yeah. Then if you if you guys know where to go, then I would say Lee will follow you.
All right. So heading towards the royal stables then
Yes.
to drop off the horses.
Yeah.
Keep
Okay.
the corpse out of sight.
Yeah, I was about to say, who's carrying Real? What's going on there?
I'll carry him,
Okay, fireman or princess?
princess. I'm
Okay,
trying to be.
okay.
I'll take
That's
care of the
fair.
horses. I'll go bring them back.
You might, if you're taking the horses, Ormus, it might
Mhm.
occur to Fionn to maybe give Ormus the royal writ so they understand where these horses came from and that Ormus isn't a thief.
Yeah, I knew there was another reason why I was thinking Fionn should. Yeah, he'll hand over the writ.
Okay.
Well, that'll definitely fix any confusion. Wouldn't want to go on the gallows again. Thank you.
Potentially. Yeah.
If Ormus heads off with the horses, I guess Lee will kind of be like, look at Molly and Fiona and be like, one of you guys want to go with them?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Fionn was gonna lean in and be like, "Hey, should I follow him?"
Don't follow him, just go with him. You're his friend.
Yeah.
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 We'll meet at the castle. Molly will know where to take me, right? You guys know where to go?
Yeah. Molly. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll meet you guys there.
All right. I'll see you in a little bit, and I'll head with Molly to the castle, I guess.
All right, Molly and Lee start heading towards the castle. Ormus and Fionn start heading towards the stables, and Jacob, Zilra, and Mark are like, "What the fuck do we do?"
The bus.
All right.
Yeah, Bill right.
They, the rest just follow along with you, Lee,
We're all
and
gonna
Molly,
end
of
up,
course.
we're all gonna end up in the same place. You might as well just come with us.
Right.
Theon, are you like hanging back or are you like coming next to me?
You got 2 horses.
Yeah, I mean, like I would
I
imagine.
can lead them both.
Yeah, I would imagine close, but not like walking next to you, but maybe a couple of steps behind. You know.
All right, this is how I
Okay.
imagine. I know this is not how it is, but I imagine Fionn riding directly behind Ormus on one horse while they lead the other horse.
Jeez. I was thinking, because, well, I was gonna be taking the horses, be like, yeah, fucking take care of the horse, bring them back, and then I see Theon, and just like all that excitement just goes away, and I get serious again.
Oh, poor guy.
So, you're gonna say Lee?
Oh, it's just something that I was planning on doing that I was going to give you guys a heads up on. I was going to see if I could talk to Bahamut about, the body first, and then possibly after that mentioning, Fionn and Ormus's new oaths for redemption. Her being a dragon god, or him being a dragon god of justice, possibly he would know where to start.
Possibly, but currently, are going Molly Mort.
I feel like we should wait until they're here with us to discuss that at least.
I am. We're going to talk about the body first.
Yeah.
No, actually, it might be good that they're gone because I wouldn't mind mentioning it to Bahamut before they get there because I want to talk about some very personal stuff that would only upset Ormus if he's there in person. Basically, explain the situation.
I mean, I feel like if it relates to him, he has to kind of be involved.
He will be, but from Lee's perspective, he just
Jumpstart the conversation.
He doesn't want to hurt him more by him having to be there and basically.
Lee, are you having this conversation in character? 'Cause it kind of works in character.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it in character. Sorry for getting distracted. Yeah, that's the plan. I'll do this when it comes up.
Okay. So Ormus and Fionn, while you're heading towards the stables, which are already outside of town a little bit, you actually recognize someone, Ormus. It's that guy Greg, the guy you were drinking with, the guy you were talking with. He's seemingly heading towards the stables as well.
I'll probably try and avoid him.
That's fair. But as you are both going towards the stables, he of course sees you.
This is
Hey,
awkward. Hey.
Ormus! How you been, man?
Good. Good. You.
Oh, just being bored.
As you and your lady.
Well, she's not my lady yet. One day.
Let's be real.
One day.
She,
Well,
if not now, then never.
Fionn is just waiting for the conversation, but he visibly zones out. Like, at this point, he knows that it's just small talk and there's nothing to gain from it, so that small talk isn't a Fionn thing, so he, leaves it to Ormus, basically.
Well, he gets to the stables around the same time as you, and he's a little bit ahead. And so he shows a rural writ to the stable master, and the stable master doesn't even look at it and just nods and walks towards the back. And he looks over at you guys and looks at the horses. Says, y'all went for a ride or something?
Here's the thing, though. Did I notice Theon, or were you trying to visibly stay out of my
No,
vision?
Theon's like walking right beside you.
Okay.
Yeah, he's with you.
Okay. A little bit. Yeah, we just needed a couple horses for a few days.
He nods. Where'd you go?
Where was it? It was east, right?
West.
West. Okay. Never east for the week. Got it.
Yeah, along the river.
Yeah, so, we went west, we went along the river, had to catch a barge before it got too far.
He nods. Says, yeah, catch a barge. Yet here you are.
We caught the barge.
You caught the barge. Was it coming in or going out?
It was going out. There was
Going out.
something on the barge that we needed.
Ah. He nods.
At this point, Fionn will step in and say, "Hey, man, like, I don't mean to be rude, but what's the third degree? Like, we have a writ stamped by the queen. We just want to return the horses."
He shrugs. He says, all right, that's fine. None of my business. And the stable master comes back with a goat on a leash and hands it over to Greg. And Greg takes the leash and says, hey, little fella. All right, let's go. And he waves and says, see you later, fellas. And he leaves.
Have fun. He's gone.
And the stable master looks at your writ, looks at the horses, and takes the horses in. Job
I was
done.
gonna say, when Theon confronts him, I just go to the horses, start petting them, telling them thank you. Be good. You guys are going to a good spot again.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Taking
Then
extra care to make sure that they're happy. That's all.
And after you drop them off, heading back towards the castle, or towards the castles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And Molly Mort and Lee, you come to the gate for the town, or for the inner sort of sanctum, the heart of hope. You use two buildings, the two different towers, and then you've got the low-lying guard buildings. I'm assuming you're heading towards the second tower, could easily be called the Queen's Tower now.
Yes.
Okay.
He's following Molly. He doesn't know where he's going.
You're not stopped nor confronted as you go in, and when you get
What
to
happened to Panny?
Hmm?
I'm gonna whisper to Molly, what happened with Panny? I thought we weren't allowed in the castle.
It's the other part of the castle we have about it.
Ormus, I'm getting a lot of feedback, buddy.
Okay.
Thank you.
What you say, Molly?
What'd you say,
Molly?
Lee?
I said I was asking Molly what she said. I couldn't hear her.
I said it's the other part of the castle we're not allowed in.
Oh, okay. I'll follow Molly. She knows where she's going, and Lee definitely does not. So.
All right. And do you head up on, that going into the sort of large tower, the underside of it, much more clean now, pristine almost in many ways. They got the fountain going, so there's a little sprinkling. That's good. That's some progress.
Nice.
It doesn't have the same sort of reclining couches and lounging areas like in the other palace, but you suspect that the queen isn't much for having people around for the sake of just having an entourage either. So, which chamber do you want to go up to? You've been in the queen's chamber, and you've been, if not in, but at least to Mika's chamber. I'm pretty sure you know where both of them are.
Yeah, we're heading to see Mika.
Okay. You head up to Mika's chambers and give it a knock, or just walk in.
Knock.
That's fair. After a moment, the door opens, and on the other side, you see the familiar face of Mika, the host body of the Dragon Lord Bahamut.
just wanted to mention I had the thought when we walked up to the door before, and you said, "Do you want to knock or just go in?" That Lee like preparing his hammer, preparing to hit the door, and then Molly looks at him and it's like, "Oh, sorry, just force of habit."
No,
That was a dumb joke, but I didn't really do that. That was just I thought that was funny.
You got rid of your keychain.
Yeah. Sorry, force of habit. Anyway, Queen of Dragons, or King of Dragons, or never mind.
Yes?
hey, we got the bow back. That's the good news. Bad,
Literally still carrying a body.
Yeah. She is noticing this.
bad news is Real kinda got killed during the encounter.
Oh no. Was he the tall one?
No, that's Aladrin.
Ah.
Or everybody is tall to me. No, this is the drow that with the bow.
Ah, the one that stole the bow.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. I mean, we knew he might die, but it's
She says, you don't need to give him to me. It's okay.
Oh no, it's not like that. We were actually hoping that you could bring him back.
Well,
a chance, you know.
hmm.
This is, I know, kind of a weird request, but
Yeah.
it didn't feel like it needed to go down the way it did, and I'm not sure how to put this. We feel like possibly giving him a second chance could be beneficial, and obviously you and your infinite wisdom would have a better judgment of this than us.
Look up at Lee and say, actually, speaking of second chances, I do feel like it might be kind of in his best interest to not come back as a drow. So I was intending to speak with Zora about that. She seems to think he would do better as a drow because he's always been a drow and she knows him as a drow. But I think drows are kind of harsh from what I understand. And I think he
You
might.
could see Zora's like looking at you offended.
I said they can be. I mean, he, he's. I imagine he's had to do a lot to get to the position he was in. And he lost that position.
Yeah.
And I think that if he wasn't a drow, this might be kind of a chance for him to have a new life. One that's not as based on how much power you have and trying not to die.
And Mika says, giving people new bodies is a power beyond mine. A power beyond mine. I can restore him, but I can't make a new body for him.
Molly can, right?
Yeah, I can. But I feel like that's something I kind of have to do with Silra's respect.
So we're like, I'm in the room.
Yeah, Zora's like looking down at you, and Mika's looking at you with like an eyebrow cocked. And Mika says, well,
As she's saying this now.
I'm sorry, you said what, Molly Mort?
She's looking at Zilra as she says this now.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's directing this to Zilra.
Zora says that he is a prince of my people. He will want to be of his people.
Zilra, he kind of fibbed to you a lot. He was, what's the word? the word when you can't come back?
Murdered?
No. Like when you're not allowed to come back to a place. You can come back and
Oh,
Exile.
exiled. That's the word. Yeah, he was kind of exiled.
Ah. He did not
Really?
tell me this.
No, also saw him telling you that what was it? He told you that we sent him away, or he stole the bow and ran off. That he left without us knowing and without us wanting him to, which is why we ended up resorting to more drastic measures to get the bow back.
Zora, do you know why he came with us? Did he tell you?
He said it was a mission from the Queen.
True.
And that's why he needed me.
True. We do need your help, but we asked for him because we wanted to give him a chance to redeem his honor. Because we won the bow from him, we needed the bow to help save the world, and it felt wrong to leave him there after being defeated. So we gave him a chance to come with us to redeem his honor by helping defeat this great evil, so that he could return home, honor restored. And he betrayed us.
So let me get this straight. She puts up a hand. He is entirely without honor. He lied to me. He apparently kidnapped me. He is exiled. He is unwanted.
He is not without honor, I don't believe. I think he does have some honor, but our ideas of honor are different, I believe.
Currently, and among his people, I feel like he is kind of without honor.
Yeah, we want to help him return that. We don't want him to be exiled. It seems wrong.
Well,
Would we be
I
getting
don't
back
care.
around this time? We catching up?
No, you're a little bit still behind.
Okay.
Not too far behind though. But Zora just shakes her head and she says, "I don't care what you do with them now."
I'm sorry, Zora.
I do believe he cared about you greatly.
I agree. I think if he didn't, he wouldn't have brought you along.
I think he brought me along just to use me.
It's true. I don't think he would have tried so hard to save you from when you were taken captive by the court or by the king. Or hold on, I can't words right now. What was she taken captive by?
She was taken captive by the guards of hope.
I assume they've told me this.
I don't know.
Know that.
I mean, I imagine it would have come up like when
Yeah.
Lee got back. Like, hey, here's what we're up to.
Yeah, I told them what I was up to. I don't know. I assume they told me what they were up to, kind of.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oops. Anyway, I don't think that I wouldn't say we should bring him back if I thought that he wasn't worth saving.
Do with him whatever you want. I'll be downstairs. And she
I'd
just
suggest taking his
starts
weapons
walking
from
away.
him.
Okay.
Well, we have a bunch of oil that was intended for reincarnating the king. I think we should reincarnate him.
Hold on. Bahamut. Sorry, Molly. Hold on. Bahamut, I think you need to take a look at Real's body to understand this next part. That,
You can see that Mika's just standing there, just kind of awkwardly, like happy to entertain you all because she cares about you and because you're, good servants. But she's really just like standing here because they knocked on my door so they could have a conversation with somebody else. Okay. But she says, "All right, I guess come in."
I'll
And I'll add Fionn and Ormus. You can come into the tower and see Zora is sitting on the edge of the fountain, and just splashing water.
Well,
I'd probably go up and sit next to her.
She looks like she wants to be left alone.
Okay.
I get that.
I'd probably
I'll,
just give her a peck on the head and then walk away.
kiss her on the head.
Just give her a quick little peck.
All right.
We
She gives you an elbow in the gut.
That makes
That'll make me
Yeah.
laugh.
that would be what I would expect.
Fiona's
I,
just thinking to himself, like, I'm not good with socials, but I don't think this is right.
That seems
I'm
kind
good.
of stupid to me.
I'm just kind of gonna give a quick little chuckle. Gotcha.
Oh, that's cute.
Like a
Um,
playful.
Yeah, I got you.
Alright.
Anyway,
So Bahamut Real's body, withered the way it is.
where do you put his body to show it? You're holding it.
Okay, is there a place to set him down?
There's a small desk. There's a bed. There's the floor. There's some chairs.
Can I lay
I
him down
don't
on the
suggest. You can put the terrible desecrated corpse on, this god's bed if you want.
Molly will definitely cringe if you do, like heavily.
bed? Can Lee use common sense to look around the room and think where would be the best place to put him? Because I'm not in the room. Lee's in the room.
Perhaps by the hearth.
Okay, I'll put him by the hearth.
It's a stone hearth, stone tile at least, and that's a decent place, I guess.
All right, I'll put him down and I'll kind of reveal his face.
So, Ormus and Fionn, are you all here?
Yeah.
You come upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay. It's around this time that Lee is putting down the remains of Real and begins unwrapping this sort of impromptu burial shroud. And as soon as he's revealed, Mika's just aghast. She's taken aback a bit.
I was honestly hoping I'd have a couple more minutes to explain, but this is probably good narrative timing.
She's looking down at him. How did he die?
I'll cover him back up and I'll say, Ormus.
She will uncover him again and continue to look.
I'll say Ormus killed him with a strange sword that he got. He says he got it from Asmodeus. It was in defense of Molly, but
Joe will reach out and just kind of touch around the sort of jaw neck area, but will recoil as soon as her fingers touch it.
talked to Ormus, and he was even horrified by what he did. But we've talked to him, and I've asked him for the party to leave the darkness and come and walk in the light with the rest of us. And Fionn has also showed interest in taking this step to redemption because Ormus is horrified by the dark powers that he has, and I think he regrets the decisions that he's made. And I think he wants to try to walk in the light.
Well, that's good. This is tremendously powerful.
You
A
think
dark
he
power.
brought back?
Maybe, possibly. His corruption is so deep. I don't think my power would do it. I'm not sure. It might be beyond it, but you have the ability to do things that are also wonderful. It's possible that your power works differently than mine, but mine, there's no way I could return this body to a living form. I couldn't make this live again. It's entirely destroyed. And I couldn't return him to it, but if you can make him a new body, then perhaps his soul will have somewhere to go.
I'll just kind of nod. All right. They should be here pretty soon. I'll look around. I might see like Ormus and Fiona at the door. Are they at the door?
Yeah, they're there.
And I'll say, yeah, I'll kind of stand up and say, they are interested in redeeming themselves, and you are the god of judgment. Do you think that you could help felicitate? I can't say words. How, what word am I looking for?
Facilitate.
Facilitate. It's a good thing I didn't say like fillate or something like that. Oh, never
And
mind.
yet you just did.
And yet I did. Anyway,
That's what editing's for.
That's what editing's for. Yep. Is there any way you could facilitate their redemption? Possibly. What's the word for it? Notarize, not notarize. See, let them take their oaths in front of you, essentially.
Witness?
Witness their oaths. Yeah, that's it. God, I'm having such a fucking hard time with words today.
It's fine. Mika says that as strong as I am, as much power as I have, the key to redemption is within every person's heart. It's really up to them. And I don't have the ability, much beyond yours, to enforce a vow, even if they do make it to me. If they make a vow to you, it probably has more meaning than making one to me. I will remind you, all of you have already lied to me. My forgiveness is almost infinite. You can see that she paused at saying infinite, and you think that somewhere in Bahamut, in his mind, he was about to say that his forgiveness is infinite, but then he thought of whether or not he could forgive his sister, and simply said almost.
Well, Bahamut, if I may let you know something, I don't know if it's come up before, but I have a pact with Gilgim, and I've been questioning some of the things that are his teachings and the things that he said, and I wanted to ask you, what do you remember of his part in, because I only know legends and such about his part in the original fight.
If it is the same man that I'm thinking of, then he was heavily involved in stopping me. He wielded a net that I couldn't get out of. It brought me to the ground, where I was stabbed and beaten. There was an irony, of course. Defeated by my own power. It's the only way that it could have happened, I guess. But there was someone else there that was very kind and gave somewhere for my soul to retreat beyond what my flesh could offer. She nods. Clearly, this is a bit painful for her to think about.
Yeah.
Even after all this time.
Fiona is like visibly angered by just everything that's going, because I feel like he believes Bahamut after seeing all the stuff over Gilgim, and he's gonna ask, well, I mean, I know you don't have the same power as you used to in your full form, but would you happen to know of how I could go about I'm just gonna say it, and whatever repercussions come, I don't trust Skill Game anymore. I haven't fully trusted him in a while because, like I said, just the things that he said and his teachings, and they seem very intolerant, and I don't like it. I know in my heart that isn't right. Would you happen to know how I can break my bond with him and maybe forge a new bond with someone else? I mean, maybe even you. I fight for the good. I don't want to see the end, and I want to see your good influence over it versus Tiamat's destruction.
He will nod, just kind of like, I'm into this.
I've seen relationships of power like this before, and they're between you and the benefactor. Unfortunately, as strong as I am in this place, here, my power is tied to this realm. I don't have anything I can really lend and give, unfortunately.
I
I
understand.
don't, in terms of breaking it, I really don't know how I would. I can offer what strength I can, but it might be something that's beyond. Certainly finding my limits today here. 0 for 2.
Lee will just kind of look around and be like, you could always swear to one of the gods of Mikado. You've got a whole bunch of gods you can choose from.
I could teach you some of my magic.
I mean,
This is something I'll have to something I'll have to think on a lot. I know right now that you guys, I can't continue this pact with Gil Gaming. This isn't okay. He's lied to me, and I appreciate the power that he's. I can't. And Fionn walks out of the room.
Okay. Yeah.
If Lee wants to try and stop him, he's not gonna fight it.
Yeah, I guess Lee will like stop him and say, you know, if your intentions are true and your oath is pure, I know there's gods of justice out there that will lend you their power for the good that you can do. And I'll just kind of take his hand and be like, it's going to be okay. You know, this is a time of great transformation, but I believe that you've changed, evolved, and grown, and that when your heart is weighed, it will be seen that, you know, you are ready for redemption. You are ready to wield the powers of light.
Thank you for that, Lee. That really does make me feel a lot better. And I'll probably be looking to you for direct guidance on this. But I think logically the next step is to speak with Gilgame, and I don't think that's gonna go well because the conversation's gonna be on my part. Hey, I'm not down with you. I'm done. So
We have your back. And then I look at Bahamut and I'm like, you have our back, right?
She nods.
We've got Bahamut. Bahamut's got our back. But do what you have to do, and we'll back you up.
thank you. You know, Eldwin always told me never give up hope, no matter how dark things. And right now, I'm really looking back on that, remembering just how true it is.
There's light at the end of that tunnel, my friend.
Theon nods and turns and continues to walk outside. He just needs some air.
Yeah, Lee lets him go. I'll turn to Ormus too and see what he's doing.
I'm gonna be real. That got me in the feels.
If you're looking at what I'm doing, I'm awkwardly sitting there. I haven't made eye contact with Bahamut. Just ashamed.
I look at Ormus and I'll walk over to him and I'll put a hand on his shoulder and I'll say,
And a flinch.
I kind of take my hand back and then kind of slowly put it back on, trying to be comforting, and I say, "It's gonna be okay. I believe that you have good in your heart, and I believe that we can do this together and make a change for the good. I truly believe that when your heart is laid the same as Fiona's, that you will be found worthy to walk in the light." And I kind of, I take my hand off his shoulder and I kind of nod at him and I say, "Take your time. We'll be here to support you."
Bahamut goes over to Ormus and kind of crouches beside where he's kind of sitting and points over to the mostly wrapped up remains of Real and says, "May I see the weapon that inflicted that wound?"
Yeah. I'll slowly unsheath it. Kind of show it to him.
In this fairly well lit room, the reddish glow like hot rock doesn't really appear, but you can see the light lines. They almost look like cracks in the steel, but it's through which fire would normally burn in the dark. But she looks over the sword. As you continue to hold it, she runs her fingers along it, but not touching it, merely near it, seemingly inspecting it from one end to the other. And she says, "This is an incredibly powerful weapon."
I only wish to wield it correctly. Unfortunately, the other day I did not.
She says, "With great power."
Oh God, no! We're gonna have an Uncle Ben moment, aren't we?
I was so close. She says that with great power, it's very important to remember that small mistakes can be incredibly dangerous. You must be vigilant. You have to be much more careful.
I wish it was that easy.
It is never that easy, but it is that simple. And she'll walk away. And she'll go over to Mollymort. And she'll say, "Is there anything that I can do to help?" And she'll be pointing at Real. To help you.
Give your blessing.
She smiles. "You have it, of course."
Thank you. I think that's all I need.
She nods. And she says, "Will you can use my chambers if you need? I'd be curious to witness such an act."
I don't think it's a good idea to do it in your chambers. It might be a little messy. There's a lot of oil involved. That would be hard to clean out of a carpet.
She nods and smiles and says, "That's fair."
You're welcome to join as we do it, though.
Thank you.
What do you guys think of doing it in the Field of Flowers where Walt and Jesse are? Seems kind of appropriate.
Honestly, I feel like that's probably where Fionn would have went for his breath of fresh air, get a connection to nature, you know. So like
Well,
that.
we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, in terms of the field of flowers that you all found to the, if I recall, the sort of southeast of the city that you went with Walt and Jesse one time, where Molly Morton actually made the field of flowers.
Yeah, and I use that for the oils that I'm gonna use for this.
Exactly. So that might be entirely appropriate. Nice, good, natureful thing.
Yeah, also, I mean, I made the flowers grow, and it's kind of a place of growth, and it seems appropriate for a rebirth.
Sounds like it's definitely a good place to go. But Fionn, when you go downstairs, you hear in a language that frankly just tastes wrong when your mouth works in this particular way. But to the ear, it's not entirely unpleasant. It's just different, and certainly you're not used to hearing it. But you hear the language of the Dark Elves as um, a voice coming from splashes beside a fountain says, "Been a hard day for everyone, huh? Judging
Yeah,
by your face."
yeah. Fionn, I feel like Fionn's one of the type that like begins to cry when he gets really angry. So like he wipes his face a bit and he goes, yeah, returning the undercommon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, when you found out God personally lied to you, the person you worship, kind of fucks you up.
That is why I never liked the gods. They're all in it for themselves. The good, the bad. They only became gods because they thirst for power.
Yeah, that sounds kind of right, but I wouldn't go that far. I know I know Lee's gods are pretty on the level who he worships, from what I know of him. But I understand what you're saying.
I do just want to point out that at least that's what Lee believes.
Yeah.
The gods, they were always there to take the power from us. The elves, the gnomes, the dwarves. Where were they when these filthy humans made us slaves? Nowhere. They left us. So we left them. In the dark, we found new gods. And we found things worse than the gods. I don't care. I don't care for gods.
You know, I'm kind of starting to feel the same way. Since we got all tied up in this mess, it made me question a lot.
She just nods, continuing to play in this fountain, sparkling light all around. It's one of those things where what she's experiencing is almost certainly an entire contrast to everything of her existence. This deep in the rock, in the dark hole, where here she's underneath an open roof and splashing water underneath the sun. It's a bit strange. It's an odd contrast, but she seems content. So, upstairs, or rather, Fionn, do you stay or do you go?
Yeah, I feel like I would go looking for a pretty nature. I can't think of the word. A place with lots of nature.
Okay. Well, you know that there's the cabin to sort of the south. You could go that direction. There's woods, there's river, or rather, there's woods, there's lake. You could go north, south, east, west. Frankly, nature is everywhere. So,
I need to go.
any particular direction you want to head?
I'm gonna start heading towards the lake.
Okay. And upstairs, are you all wrapping up real and gonna head out, or
Yeah.
other business?
I mean, I guess I'll make sure he's wrapped up, and I'll look to Molly, who's kind of in charge of this whole deal. Like, you ready to go?
Yeah, I need to go get my oils.
Let's do that. Or I'll take him to where do you wanna do it?
I think the field is a pretty good idea. The field where I got the flowers for the oil.
All right, I'll take him there ahead of you, and we can meet up there. Kind of explain what's going on
Okay.
ahead of you, so they know why we have a dead body in the center of their field.
Yeah, maybe Bahamut, would you like to go with Lee?
We'll keep Bahamut.
Bahamut nods and says, That'll be fine, sure." And you see she kind of snaps her fingers, and with the flare, a kind of red cloak forms around her, which is a strong contrast to the almost shining white garments that she's wearing, along with her uh, short white hair.
Molly's
Definitely, it's different.
eyes Molly's eyes just sparkle in delight at the sight of her just doing that minor thing, just with so much flair though.
Hmm.
Fabulous.
Absolutely fabulous.
So, heading out then?
Yep.
All right. Mark and Jacob, who have just been kind of awkwardly standing in the hall, watching people go back and forth, just figure, well, I guess we're going with them. Okay. Yeah. They follow along. So, Lee, you have the remains?
Yeah.
Okay. And Molly Moore, you're going to go head, I think, in terms of where you left the oils, did you leave them at Irini's house, or did you leave them with Jesse and etc.
I believe I left them in the chamber where the heart was.
Oh yeah, that could be a place where you left them. Certainly, you know that this tower, both of the towers, have secret entrances to that chamber, and so you can certainly easily go in there and take care of that.
Question real quick. What about
Mhm.
Ormus? I guess before I leave, I'll ask Ormus. Ormus, do you want to stay here? Do you wanna come?
Uh,
I'll come along.
Are you sure? I know this is gonna be hard for you.
I
Maybe
could use a little bit of muscle.
yeah, you could go with Molly, or if you want, maybe you, Mark, and Jacob could all go and have a drink at the end.
Uh, I'll go
Mark
with Molly.
raises his hand and says, "I vote that one."
What do you think? I don't want this to be any harder on you than it needs to be.
I'll go with Molly.
Okay.
I think having Oramus there will be much harder on Real than Oramus.
Correct.
Yeah, I think that that Ormus should step aside once we're bringing him back. But for the meantime, these jugs of oil are heavy and big, and Fionn isn't here. Lee's carrying the body there right now.
You got Mark and Jacob.
Are they strong?
All right.
Mark's definitely strong. Jacob's fairly strong.
All right, we can do this.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Lee, while you're heading out, Mika says, "Oh, just a moment," and she goes over and knocks on the door for the queen, and the queen says, "Come in," and Mika pokes her head through and says, "I'm gonna go resurrect someone. Bye." And you hear what? And she closes the door and she just smiles and starts walking down the stairs.
Beautiful.
Woohoo!
I love Mika.
I feel like she loves fucking with him.
I know, I love it.
All right. So let's see. Mark and Jacob help get the oils with Mollymort. Ormus, I'm sorry, were you going with Lee or Mollymort or just
Molly,
going
I was
Molly?
gonna help
Got
her
it.
with the jugs. Yeah.
More than enough. You all can get a good amount. You can get all of this oil, which I'm not really sure how much you're going to need, but this better be enough. So, and you're able to head off. And I'm guessing you guys, do you want to pick up any other, get Walt and Jesse or anybody? You want to?
Really explain what's going on to them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that can wait.
Okay. Do you want to get Idor the Great just to rub it in his face and be like, "Hey, we've never met, but you're gonna see some real stuff"? No, nobody. Nobody wants to talk to Idor the Great.
Maybe we
Okay.
could do it after this. I do want to visit him. I am very interested. It's just like, the same issue as last time or pressing issues.
Yeah, it just comes up, and then it's just always like, "Oh, we need to find somebody. Idor the Great, somebody. Now let's go somewhere else." Okay.
We're not doing,
Beyond.
yeah,
He's so boring anyway. Okay, sorry. I'm sidetracking too much. So,
we're not doing anything after the resurrection. We could go visit him after that, and then the next day we could go and get the net.
well, we'll see.
Yeah. that
So,
sounds good.
Let's see. Those head off to get the oils. Everything else is there. Fion's heading towards the lake. Let's see. The first people that get there will be.
Fall,
Pardon?
trips and falls, and probably breaks Real's body in two. Anyway,
Well, Lee, do you instantiate your goat?
I do not. I'm honestly planning on just walking there because that takes a little while to do, and I'm just gonna go there. If I have some time while I'm waiting, I could, but
Well, the field itself is a couple miles away. Realistically, you might even be faster just getting the goat and then going. Plus, this thing is heavy.
that's true.
You are carrying a body that weighs at least 100 pounds. Even fully desecrated, this thing probably weighs closer to about 150.
I honestly, I think Lee would probably just walk in there.
Okay, that's fine. And Mika will follow respectfully.
Do we see?
You can see the crowds are parting. Nobody comes up and talks to her, but everyone sees her, and everyone just backs away, nods. A couple people bow. Some even kneel, and Mika just nods at everyone.
Do we see Zilra by the fountain when we leave?
Yes, you did see Zilra by the fountain.
When I pass her, I'll ask her if she would like to come.
Do you fill in that you're going to be going to bring him back to life?
Yes.
She thinks about it a moment. And she says, "I don't want to, but I think he will need it."
I'll kind of nod to her and say, "All right."
So she will follow along as well. Okay. So you would get to the field first. Do you want to do anything to prepare a site? You want to flatten anything, or you just want to just kind of put him down in the middle of this field of flowers?
I'm thinking more natural is probably better, but I'll kind of, I'll arrange a place for all of it to happen just with my knowledge of like religious rituals, clerical abilities, and stuff like that. Just kind of prepare a place for him,
Okay. Yeah, you
Maybe
can.
a ring
You
of
can-
stones.
Do you keep him wrapped, or do you unwrap him?
I'm gonna keep him wrapped.
Okay.
Kind of laying in the field, maybe with a ring of rocks around him or something.
Okay. Yeah, you just start collecting rocks and kind of bringing them over just to make it look nicer, at least, if anything. And after a little bit of time, Molly Morton, you're able to, with your retinue of Oramus and Mark and Jacob, are carrying these jugs, and you're able to navigate your way back towards the field, the field that still grows due to your own magic. And coming over the hill, you see this huge swath of flowers, and in the center of it, you see a woman in red, a woman in black, and a shiny spot that is Lee, as he's putting rocks around a wrapped form in white. It's kind of pretty picture. Anyway,
The big old field of flowers. That does sound nice.
yeah. So you've got these jugs. What's the sort of step? What do you want to do next? What's involved with this ritual?
A lot of oil.
A lot of oil.
A
It's
lot
gonna
of
get
oil.
full on, wrestling match in here.
I was gonna say that too.
Greco-Roman wrestling match. Just we're gonna pull out the inflatable pool, and we're gonna. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, should we like have a container to put him in with the oil? Like,
Yeah.
we just
How long
pour
do
it on
we?
him?
How long does the marinade last? I'm just curious. Do we?
Honestly, I was thinking she would just soak his wrap in it.
So
That's
the
what I was thinking.
the official flavor text informs us that you touch a dead creature that has been dead for no more than a century, that didn't die of old age, and that is not undead. If its soul is free and willing, the target returns to life with all its hit points. This spell neutralizes. No, this is resurrection. Excuse me.
I got it up if you want.
Yeah, I know, but
By the way, you said you were going to revise the reincarnate.
yeah, I got my own table.
Okay.
Yeah, well, let's see. You touch an undead humanoid or a piece of a dead humanoid, provided the creature has been, etc., and then calls the soul to enter that body. If the target soul isn't free or willing to do so, the spell fails. The magic fashions a new body for the creature to inhabit, which likely causes the creature's race to change. Yay. So, in this particular instance, it does require the rare oils and unguents worth at least 1,000 gold pieces, which you do have. Let's make some canon. How do you picture this ritual going?
Just on the sidelines, I think Lee would probably say some sort of prayer. It's not helping at all, but like maybe a prayer of birth or something.
Certainly. Go on, Molly Morton.
I imagine she's a lot less delicate and, you know, calm with this than she was with, say, you know, fixing an eye or her usual stuff. Kind of nearly yelling in as has become usual for her. Um, Druidic more so this time than usual, and gnomish. And as she's having people dump the oil on him, but she's like yelling for the soul that he better come back and take care of the things he didn't have a chance to before he was violently struck down.
Interesting. And in terms of the people dumping it, you've got, let's call it for convenience sake, 4 jugs of oil. I forget how many it really was, but on the very least, you've got, let's call it 4 flasks of oil.
I'm thinking I'm gonna have Lee do one. Molly is going. Can Molly handle one of these?
Oh yeah. I mean, originally this whole thing was put into 2 very large, almost like buckets, and one kept with, as part of the payment. One stayed with Walt and Jesse. I don't know what they're doing with that, but I assume for long-term storage, this has been put into essentially like quart jugs, so something much more easily handled, but still heavy and still a lot of them.
Are you sure you want me doing it? I was gonna say, what's his name? I know his name, Jacob. Jacob.
Jacob?
Yeah, I knew his name. It's
Yeah,
like,
well, Jacob's happy to help, but you got 4 of these, so if you're going to be kind of pouring them all over at once, who are the pourers?
I was gonna say Jacob might be a good choice for this because he's kind of attuned to the world as well.
Yeah, for sure him, for sure Molly, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Lee as well. I am going to have asked Ormus to step aside, kind of make himself less apparent. And I think I would have asked Zilra if she wanted to do the 4th thing of oil.
I'm sure there's some rocks or something nearby that the audience or whatever can sit at. Bahamut, Zilra, Ormus, whoever.
Well, Bahamut will just be standing nearby, but Zora's a bit surprised when you ask her to help, and she's even more surprised when she nods and accepts the flask, and so she aids, kind of following the kind of ritual, pouring out this oil that is just fully soaking in these wrappings.
In that case, in her, shouting for the soul to come back, she would have said something about make amends with Zilra as well.
All right, make I'm just curious. Make like a persuasion check, maybe. I would even accept an intimidation.
Hell yeah. Is it possible for me to aid her?
How would you be aiding? How would you like to aid?
This is kind of a religious sort of, well, religious-ish. It's a spiritual thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess me just being there for her and trying to help with the ritual and whatever. I'm not exactly sure how I would be doing it. Other than that, just kind of through support and through what do you call it? Just the kind of spiritual nature of it.
You're helping with the ritual for sure. Well, maybe roll a religion check, Lee.
I understand the Druidic, but the very small amount of Gnomish she's speaking, I would probably understand to an extent. Sorry, my dice fell off my bed.
It's okay.
It's not great, but it's a 16.
Okay. With the 16, you know that there's basically souls when they leave, they can go to different places. And you don't know where his soul is, but you know that if it's not free, then it can't come back. And also, if it's not willing, it can't come back. You don't know if Real maybe even wants to come back. You don't really know. So you probably are aware that the Molly's tact of essentially laying out his unfinished business is pretty good. You kind of, if he doesn't want to come back, you've got to make a good argument for him to come back, and that certainly helps. With that knowledge, I don't know how much it would help too much. She seemed to already be ahead of the curve there and has made the best argument possible of like, look, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this.
All right.
But
Can I just lend my energy to hers, through my own prayer?
I mean, you're certainly helping in many ways by being there and being supportive, for sure.
It's good enough to me. If there's no actual pluses, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm happy to be involved.
Does your aura give anything, Lee?
Only saving throws. If she's making a check, I think I could give her bless.
You could. Yeah.
It's so messy to me. Or I mean, I guess if I'm praying, it would help. Everybody involved in the ritual. Let's see. No, it doesn't affect skill checks. It only saving throws and attacks.
Ah, that's a shame.
Oh well.
I know that I was told to kind of butt out, but while Maul is chanting, I'll kind of come up behind her, put a hand on her shoulder, put a hand on a reel, and just kind of like say, for all it's worth, I'm sorry. But come back. You got your auto to win back.
I'll put
Mollenworth,
my-
make a persuasion check with advantage. The forgiveness from Ormus definitely gave advantage. Or basically him
Apology.
in kind of apology. Yeah.
I'll put my hand on Ormus's shoulder, kind of fondly.
Okay, so I only get a +1 to persuasion.
Great.
Roll was a 13. Second roll was a 5. Can I use my lucky feat? Because this is an ability check, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to use my lucky feat to try one more roll.
Okay.
And so it's a 14.
14 total.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
A 16 help?
So for creating the new body, would you like to do the rolling, or
Yeah.
should I?
I would prefer to.
Okay. Fantastic. Go ahead, if you would please. Roll a D100.
73?
Interesting. Interesting.
Very nervous.
So,
2.
Huh?
I'm extremely nervous as well.
It's fine. If you would please, roll a... hang on. Not that. Not that. Yeah, if you would please, roll a d4.
3?
Okay. 3. You can see as um, the flowers begin to close in around the wrappings, and you can see that there's more sort of vines and roots that come up to grab the wrappings more, and they are soon enveloping, and it's almost like the ground is moving aside to swallow in the entire remains. And from the area above, there begin to grow these green plants, a vibrant, well, almost like a yellowish green, and they get kind of more and more dense, and it's almost like they're filling out as they continue to grow and wrap, and you almost start to see a humanoid form beginning to occur as it covers them, essentially. And soon the sort of tendrils of plant begin to move away, and you can see green flesh underneath. And the vines completely pull away, and what is left is a humanoid form, green of skin, with very pointy ears and sort of odd faces. And none of you have seen a creature like this. It's different.
You're so cute.
But
Gamer.
soon the eyes open, and the form sits up and is looking around, and it looks confused and alarmed. It's also naked. If anyone has anything to, roll Roll a d6.
5.
Hang on. There's a gender table as well.
Ooh.
Not that, not that, not that. Where is the button? Hang on. I had it. I seem to have lost where it was. Anyway, it's there. It looks confused. I'll inform you in a moment if it's a male or a female. I'm sorry, I didn't have the right table in front of me for that. Sorry.
The cloth is gone?
Oh yeah, the body that was there was swallowed whole. The cloth and all went below the ground, and then roots came up, and then the roots went away, and now there's a body on top of the ground.
I'll throw my cape over them, to cover up.
Certainly appreciated.
Did he keep his height? Did he shrink?
Well, I mean, before he was a drow, and now he's some sort of green elf thing. I mean, it's the height is also different. He looks taller, much skinnier.
Oh,
Well,
that's
just welcome back, buddy.
I'm sorry, what?
I was like, welcome back, buddy.
We both said welcome back.
Yeah, he. I'm just gonna stick with he. I can't find the table, but he's very confused as he's looking around, and he's looking at his hands. What did you do to me?
Molly, I guess, can't put a hand on his shoulder. She reaches up and tries.
Well, he's like sitting up. He's.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, she puts a hand on his shoulder. This wasn't just me, and she kind of gestured towards Zilra. This was you and her, and there was a lot of people involved in this, but you still have stuff to do here, okay?
You couldn't let that be the end.
Why? What? Where was I? Where was I?
You were gone.
You were dead. We don't know where you went, but you were dead.
I remember where I was. He's again looking down and looking at his chest, which again is glaringly a different skin color and just does not look to the same proportion. I don't feel right.
Take it slow. You'll get used to it. Just you want to sit here for a minute and just get used to it?
Somebody explain that he's not in his old body. I mean, he must realize that, but having somebody tell him that would probably help him understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I'll probably be the one to explain that as calmly and nice as I can be.
that so you have a new body. Like, how do you explain this?
We did with what we. Well,
He's the expert.
well,
You can let her explain it.
Yeah, I mean, you can let Molly Mort say it.
bring you back. Yeah.
I brought you with everybody's help, with your soul's consent, I would like to note. And with Zillara's help, I brought you back to life. Not as a drow, but as a green elf? I don't know. I don't really have control over what you are, but Bahamut couldn't bring you back as you, and this seemed like the best option.
Fresh start, real.
Yeah, from start.
You're a new man. You have a chance to live a whole new life however you want to do it. You're not beholden
Without
anymore.
without his mouth moving, you all hear in your heads, "Wish this idiot would shut up."
Be nice.
I'm always nice.
I just got back, so something that I repeated.
Hmm?
I just got back, so if there was something that I said that I repeated, I didn't know.
No.
He's not happy about the fresh start, I get it. Alright, should I put him down? No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, he's very confused and begins to, with cloak wrapped around, stands up and is kind of getting a feel for the new flesh, essentially.
Do any of us know what he is?
None of you recognize him.
Do you know what you are? 'Cause I don't, honestly. This was kind of left up to fate.
Zora says, "I recognize what he is now." And she smiles and comes forward. And she says, "This is a form that suits you perhaps even better than the one you had before."
What is he?
This is the body of the Githzerai.
Knew it. Well, I figured it was a gift. I didn't know it was a Githzerai until the mime thing.
Yeah.
Well, I can never remember the difference between the Githyanki and the Githzerai, to be
The
honest.
Githzerai are psychic.
Ah, they're the monk ones.
Yeah, they're the Ascended.
I know very little about them.
Okay, so, well, in fact, Zora will inform and say that deep in the dark, we found an enemy worse than any we could imagine. Worse, much worse than the humans here. But these were the enemy of our enemy. We had not seen them for many, many hundreds of years. And she says that you could be the greatest of our warriors. And you can see Reels standing up a little taller, looking down like,
You could be the greatest whatever you want to be.
He starts to have a bit of a prideful smile. Maybe this was not so bad after all.
Like I said, you came back with your soul's consent. You agreed to this. So make the best of it.
He nods, and Zora actually, at this point, kneels before him.
Putting this out there real, bows off limits.
Huh?
Just putting this out there real. I hope you understand, after all this, the bow's off limits.
He doesn't look too pleased about that.
Yeah.
And he
How'd
says,
you be like, look at him? You think he needs a bow?
Yeah,
Man's a fucking warrior.
You look great. I'm glad you're back, but seriously.
He says, "We'll see."
You might get it back eventually.
Yeah, real. Please don't ruin this chance we gave you. We've already given you one chance and then brought you back from death. So don't ruin this chance again.
He nods and says, "I will be very careful this
God damn it. I say that as well.
time."
Real, I will fuck you up.
Oh, calm down. And then he begins to walk through the field, and then looks around and says, "Where are we?"
In Hope. Wait, technically, is this in Hope?
It's a couple miles east of Hope, but yeah.
We're right outside of Hope.
And Zora says, "Town is this way, by the way," and points in a different direction that he's going. And he nods and begins to walk the direction she pointed.
I whisper to who's closest to me right now?
Probably Lee?
Okay, I lost.
The level, though, isn't he?
Hmm?
Doesn't matter. Either way. Ormus is down there, too, I thought.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, but in terms of the closest to Mollymore.
Gotcha.
I whisper to Lee, do you think we should go with them or give them some time?
We give them some time, though at this point, I think he could probably return home with his honor without the bow. So it might not be a bad idea to consider just letting them go.
Yeah.
I mean, we like Silvera's help, but remember, they could also be a liability to us at this point.
True. I think we should let him go and talk with him once he's had some time to think about things.
Mika says that, yes, but perhaps maybe we should at least get him some pants before we let him go into town.
Yes, please. Yes, absolutely, please. Somebody.
Yes. If we could slow him down a bit. Yeah. So let's see. Does anyone have a change of clothes? Anyone have any clothing?
I left my pack probably in Bahamut. I left my pack somewhere. I don't know where the hell my pack is.
My
Okay.
stuff will not fit him for sure.
Definitely.
Just carrying my saddlebag.
I'll give him some change.
Jacob might have some. Ormus, did you say you have spare clothing?
Yeah,
Okay.
for when I need to do the laundry.
Alright. Yeah, you can deliver some clothing to the marching reel, and he will, without shame, get dressed without saying a word to you. Not rather without even looking to you. He'll just put them on and continue marching. And Mika will say, "This was certainly unexpected, and
Say that again.
always a pleasure."
I'll put my cape back on, I guess.
Okay.
It was just wrapped around a naked guy, but all right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's not like he was dirty. Like he was new.
Sticky like a newborn, was he?
No. He actually still smells like flowers.
Nice.
Yeah. So everyone going back to town then?
Do we know where Fionn went?
Nope.
We should go look for Fionn.
He probably just needs some time. Can I talk to Ormus real quick? I just wanted to say this is a really good start, and I'm proud of you. And I'll put my hand on his shoulder. You're well on your way already, and I think we can all see it.
Well, I appreciate that.
Not that we had any doubt we could do good.
Ready to head back?
Yeah.
You can see that Mark, jokingly or teasingly or perhaps even romantically, you can't really read him too well, uh, is picking some flowers and giving them to Jacob. Like as they're going, he's just like picking them up, a whole bunch of them, and Jacob's just like, and he's just collecting them. But anyway, that's happening. Theon, you're heading towards the cabin. Yes.
Yeah.
Real quick, I would like to say that to Jacob and Mark, I would like to say, let's go to a bar. I think you guys deserved it.
Yay! And Mark just starts running, and then very quickly gets tired.
I'll put a flower in Molly's hair too.
Nice. Okay, go ahead.
All right, Fionn, you head towards the cabin.
Yeah, but I don't think I make it there. I think along the way, Fionn becomes a bit overwhelmed, and walking through the woods, he kind of falls to his knees, and he just looks up and he says, "I'm done," and then shouts it again. Again, shouting, says, "I'm done. Do you hear me? I'm fucking done." And sits there for a moment, gathering himself. Thinks to Molly, and Silra said, Lee. He thinks back to what, his clan worshipped. They, they were, well, correct me if she isn't a part of your pantheon, but I feel like they worshipped, Titania being naturey and fairy and all that stuff. And he just starts thinking about her.
Is it part? I don't think probably wouldn't be part of Lee's pantheon. It would definitely be within the realm. I think a very good person to ally, Fionn with, because like Lee represents what do you call it, like civilization, but Fionn is kind of the bridge that gaps that. So returning to his roots, I think, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so he.
Does that help?
Oh, yeah. He starts thinking about Titania and, his family worship Titania, his clan. And he just.
As
Go ahead.
Fionn starts thinking about that, he starts to get really kind of lightheaded. But go on.
And he just kind of starts walking through the woods now, no real goal.
He's feeling very dizzy and light and kind of, that feeling when you have a really bad fever and it's like you decide to move your head and then you move your head and then you see you move your head. Like it's like real life lag
Yeah.
and everything is just kind of wrong and swimmy, and as much as you try to think on something, you just can't think about it, and it just gets worse and worse, and you're so tired and you can't breathe and you can't stand. The world is just going to mush around you.
Shit.
Yeah, so, I mean, honestly, I think he'll just, at this point, he's like, with the dizziness, he'll just keep walking until he collapses.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Where is my d20? Wait, I need to check. Okay, proficiency, not advantage. I wasn't sure if I got proficiency in the saving throw or advantage because of a feat.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be 21? Yeah, 21.
You're able to hold pretty well, and you're kind of leaning on the trees as you go, bearing on them, their strength keeping you up as you continue. But eventually, it gets so much to the point where you fall to your knees, still holding yourself and clinging to trees and bracing yourself as you go. But it's getting so tough to move. Every step, every movement, every action, every thought is just returned with you feel like an empty bottle in a wave. you're all over the place, and there's nothing in there, and the world is so different, and everything is just floating and crashing around you, and you can barely think, and you hear a very angry voice beside you. You coward. You're done when I say we're done.
Done now. Strip me of my power and strike me down. Lied to me. I tried to uphold right, and you lied to me.
I never lied to you. You're just not smart enough to realize it. Maybe you're not brave enough to realize it, but you'd be nothing without me. I told you from the beginning, no such thing as a good dragon. They should all be dead. They've done nothing good for this world. And without me, you won't either.
That's your belief. Uphold that. But I uphold my belief in this life or the next. And I'm not going to do that with you anymore.
You're gonna rot, and I'm gonna laugh. And he puts his hand on your kind of skull, basically. And you can feel yourself getting so cold, more cold than you've ever felt in your entire life. This isn't the normal kind of cold. This isn't like being chilly. It's like your bones are frozen and they're cooling your blood. It is beyond cold, and then it goes from cold to just pure pain, and then it goes from cold to pain to nothing, and you can feel yourself just being numb, and the world stops being mush and stops being waves and stops crashing around you, and it just starts to solidify, and you fall back unconscious in the middle of the woods, and you hear birds chirping all around, and you hear a playful laughter in the distance. And we'll come back to that later. So, the rest of you, as you're walking back to town, do you want to make any stops? Where do you want to look for Fionn? What do you want to do here?
I'm ready to head to a bar with Mark and Jacob.
Fantastic. What bar? You. Oh, go on.
I was kind of hoping to go to the Iron Gentleman.
All right, going to the Iron Gentleman. Very nice. Mark will be going anywhere that there is alcohol, and Jacob will be going anywhere that his friends are going. So,
I figured.
Real is just sort of going towards town. You have no idea what he's gonna do, and Zora is following Real. Mika is probably just gonna go back to her room. What is Lee gonna be doing, and what is Ormus doing?
For now, I'm going with them.
Them being towards the bar?
Yeah, I mean, unless if anything else catches my attention, I'm gonna go towards the bar with the rest of them.
Okay.
If anything else comes up, I might be drawn away.
Got it. And Ormus?
Seeing this is probably a time of celebration, I don't feel right without everybody being here, so I'd probably go to, not the cabin, but start looking around town for Fionn.
All right.
What?
Yeah, so he'll just look around town. Ormus, I know this is kind of weird, but Olimor's noise doesn't come through unless everyone else is kind of quiet. Thank you.
I got it. I had echo cancellation. It's always an issue. I turned it off.
Okay.
What I was trying to say was I was gonna catch Ormus before he left and slip him like a dozen gold and say, give these to Real. It's a little something to start up, and you to be nice.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta find him again first.
Oh, you can find Rio pretty easily. He's walking in your clothes across a field ahead of everyone.
He's just like,
He's just still
yeah.
walking. He's not, you guys aren't to town yet, so you
Gotcha.
can go up and
Oh,
slip
gotcha.
something before you all kind of split your ways.
Yeah, I'd run up and give it to him and tell him Molly gives a gift.
He doesn't say a word. He does take the coins, but he takes them and looks at the coins and puts them in your pocket, which is on his body, and then just continues on.
I'm just gonna give him this last smile and take off.
Well, like I said, I'll ask Ormus, where he's going, if he wants me to come with.
No, it shouldn't be too long or too hard to find Fionn. I'm just gonna go look for him. It doesn't feel right to celebrate without him.
I'll come with you.
Alright, yeah.
And I'll wave to Molly and Mark and Jacob and all them, and I'll be like, we'll catch up with you. I'm sure Ormus and Theo know where the Iron Gentleman is anyway.
Oh, I do, indeed.
All right. So this time of day, remember, it is sort of like noonish, around lunchtime or so. The Iron Gentleman is not especially busy. They got a lot of tables that are available, and you're able to order, for the most part, kind of whatever you want. They've got ales and wines and a decent lunch menu. Molly Mort, while you may not be looking for him, or maybe you will, but Gary is not in this building currently.
Let's keeping an eye out for him.
All right.
Okay. Well, she'll stop and get food and just a little bit to drink, anyways.
Okay. Mark, assuming that the tab is not on him, orders 2 pitchers of the finest wines. Do you allow that order? Hmm?
I will look at him and say, don't overdo it, okay? Just, I'll pay for a bit. I'll pay for this, okay?
All right, 2 pitchers of your cheapest wine. Yay! And
Grin and a playful elbow.
all right, some food is brought. The food is, gonna be honest, not very good. I mean, it's okay, but it's especially greasy, and I mean, it's like typical kind of bar food kind of fare. Like, it's nothing more than appetizers, and overall, it's not especially great. You think that this bar's fame and its popularity comes not from the food, nor even really the drink, but most likely for the fact that it just tends to have a certain population at it. They just like it because it's their bar, not because it's a good bar.
I understand that.
Yeah. Anyway, but he certainly enjoys the bit of the drink. You have no idea which. Real just kind of kept going. He just kept walking into town and kept going further and further in. Mika went towards the palaces. And Ormus and Lee, where do you want to start looking for Fionn?
I'll ask Ormus if there was anywhere that you guys were staying that you think Fionn might go to while I was gone.
Well, we had Mika's old house. That's where I was gonna start.
Irini's house?
Irini's, yes.
Yeah.
Probably a good guess. I do know that when he's, kind of stressed out, he likes to go out into nature, though. Is there anywhere other than the lake?
Um, it takes a minute. Well, we had a place that was with the east.
The cabin?
Yeah.
No, that was south. Right
south.
on the edge of the
Gotcha.
lake.
I'm terrible with directions. This is why I'm not the navigator.
It's fine, to be honest. You guys have never seen it, and it exists nowhere but my head. I don't expect you to know where everything is.
Well, we had
What-
we had a place to the south, a little bit in the woods that we retreated to after we escaped prison.
Well, since Arini isn't at that place anymore, that might not be a bad place to start.
Actually, Irini is still there. It's her house.
She is, okay.
Not that you would know that, Lee.
I mean, we
Okay.
got Reedy's house. We got the castle we can search. I don't know why he'd be there, but you never know.
I just know that, well, I'm sure as you know, he likes to go off and have some alone time, and he's having a hard time out in the wilderness. So that might not be a bad place to start, is the southern woods.
Yeah. I was gonna check the house. Well, yeah, we can go there after since we're already in town. Might as well check Reedy's.
Alright, let's do that first. And while we walk, Lee will start trying to tell Ormus about all the great things about the gods and like ideals and justice and stuff like that. Just kind of blah blah blahing about it.
Trying to build them on him.
Just I'm basically youth pastoring him. I'm youth pestering him.
Nice.
I'm gonna roll a religion to see how good of a job I do, maybe.
Sure. Yeah, go for it. Roll for proselytize.
All right. Rolled really badly. An 8.
That sounds about right. Yeah. It's with a little bit of irony, and it probably doesn't occur to Lee, but there is a small irony that Lee does a lot better selling Philbin than he does his own religion.
It's sad, but true.
I was gonna make a joke that you can't sell Ormus on the Church of Philbin.
Yeah. If he were doing that, he would have rolled better for sure. But no, he's trying to, give the old
You would have had
god.
an advantage.
Yeah,
Wouldn't need it.
I'm trying to get Ormus to be thinking about what fits his ideals, what God would be good to ally himself with that fits his what he believes in and what he wants to fight for and all that.
I want to fight for balance.
You seem like you believe in justice and loyalty. That could be a good start. If you want to fight for a balance,
That could be a
Elder's
start.
a good one. He's the Watcher.
Well, you
I'll
all
give it a
get
look.
to Irini's house, and it's empty, but you can see that there's a plate underneath glass of it's almost like Cinnabons, basically like little cinnamon rolls covered on the table, and it smells delicious, but no one seems home. But you can take a moment to maybe have a bite or continue your chat and head into the woods if you like. But we will pick it up next week and find out if you find Theon, what's going on with Theon, and find out, will Mark start a fight? We'll see. We'll see what is going on with Aladrin. I don't know. I was about to say, did he get made a man? But anyway, so everyone good next week?